Hello everyone, Brickosaurus227 here, and welcome to episode 9 of the Nerf Archives, the show where we take a look at blasters from all kinds of different time periods, series, ammo types, and whatnot, and we talk about it and see if they're good or if they have any use today in the hobby. This is basically my version of what Welcome's Tag Bag is, but a little bit more condensed. Today we have a very special guest doing this episode, and that will be Maritime Foam, one which I am very honored to have on the channel appearing as a guest. I'm really thankful for the time he took to, pull the blaster out and talk about it. And what blaster are we going to be talking about today? That would be the Dart Tag Fury Fire, one of the more interesting Dart Tag blasters in my opinion that people kind of forgot about. It's one of those things you see on eBay and you're like, oh yeah, that exists. But it's just kind of a fun little blaster. But I'm not going to be talking about it today. Maritime Foam will be talking about it in this episode of the Nerf Archives, so let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome. I am Anthony Stewart, or Maritime Foam, and I am here on behalf of Brickosaurus talking about the Nerf Dart Tag Fury Fire from 2009. The Dart Tag concept was really interesting. It used these darts that actually had Velcro tips on them, so that when you fired them from a blaster, they would stick to different surfaces, including jerseys that teams would wear. I actually just found a couple of these larger jerseys the other day. Pretty cool. This fits me. Crazy. I have a bunch of YouTube shorts on my channels about some of my favorite Dart Tag blasters, but this was really an interesting one. Kind of a 10-round drum pistol, but it had a little pump grip up here, which was actually pretty convenient. It's a solid method of firing darts. It did not have slam fire, which would have been really cool with a 10 dart capacity. Another interesting thing about a lot of the Dart Tag blasters is they did have to accommodate for these wider tips on the darts. So when you do put one of these darts in the cylinder, it's actually extra recessed at the end so you can fit in that extra wide tip. This blaster, when you prime it, when you pull the trigger, it would index and fire the blaster, or fire and index the blaster. This one fires about 25 to 30 FPS. I assume the original ones did a little bit better. This will accept a modern dart, but again, it doesn't do very much with it. I've never looked into the modding with so many blasters and so many projects to do. It would be interesting to see what you can do. I'm sure you could look online for some tips to mod it. I don't pick these up anymore. I have one of each color just for collection's sake, but this is generally one I would leave on the shelf. But I do think it's an interesting part of the Dart Tag history. If you put in the work, it could be a neat, viable little Nerf pistol. I hope you enjoyed this look back to 2009. Head on over anytime to check out Maritime Foam. And thank you, Brickosaurus, for reaching out and asking me to chat a little bit about an older blaster, because that's one of my favorite things to do. Catch you later.
Thank you so much, Maritime Foam, for appearing on this episode. I really appreciate it. Go check out his channel. It's really good. He's more into the bigger, and the shorts game on the YouTube spectrum, but he also posts great full-length reviews that you guys definitely need to check out. He also does thrifting and whatnot, and very similar videos, similar to like this series here, where I talk about Nerf blasters from different time periods and their histories. So that's one reason I really thought he would be a perfect pick for this, because he knows a lot more about history of certain blasters, like some of the details I actually didn't even know about. So that was great for him to be on there. And what do I think? Do I agree with him? Pretty much. Does it have a lot of use for today? I wouldn't necessarily say it does. Now, of course, there is a lot of variants, which is interesting. There's the green variant, and then there's the Transformers variant, which is a little bit more rare. But what does it offer the hobby today? Well, not a ton. However, it does have a little bit of mod potential. Even though it's reverse plunger, you probably could get this to fire at least up to 70 FPS. I wouldn't imagine that would be too hard. And, maybe replace the seal or something like that. Put a spring in there, wouldn't really help as much. Get the air strikers out, brass the barrels, and you probably could shoot pretty good. Otherwise, there's not really a reason to mod it. It's not like, unless you really like the shell, which I do like the shell. I really wish Nerf could remake this maybe in like an Icon series. I don't think they're doing that anymore, but I like the shell and the size and the compactness of it. It's really nice. It feels more like a pistol than anything. One little neat piece of history I don't think Maritime Foam mentioned was this blaster was created specifically to be... Basically, this blaster was an old version of what the Strife X was meant to be. Hear me out. So, the Strife X was made for the purpose of being in this game called Nerf Ball or whatever. That's the main flagship blaster for this game. This blaster was made as the flagship blaster of the Nerf Dart Tag Tournament, which was a Nerf tournament where like it was a battle. It was almost a sport, basically. It was basically at the level of a sport, and it never really caught on popularity. That's why it's not really around anymore. But this was basically the old version of what the Strife X was kind of supposed to be. This was the flagship blaster designed specifically to be used in the competitive, situation. And back in the day, this was a more competitive blaster than a lot of Nerf's other stuff. It felt more like just a better competitive type of thing. It was more simple and down to earth and down to the point. And I really want Nerf to remake something like this. Maybe even like remake this exactly in Elite 2.0, because I really like the shell. I mean, I could try modding it. Maybe, I wonder if Strong Arm Eternals would somehow fit in here. Worth a shot. I may have to try it. But, yeah, it's pretty darn cool. Now, what do I give it on the rating scale? Well, I'm not going to say it's bad, because for the time it was decent, but the performance isn't that great. I'm just going to have to go ahead and give it the decent ranking. I think it's a decent enough blaster. It looks cool, has a great shell. There's some cool variants and stuff like that. So decent will be the ranking I give it, because it doesn't have as much to offer today, except for just kind of some nostalgia and a really cool shell. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I thank you so much, Maritime Foam, for doing an episode. I really, really appreciate it. It was, I'm really honored to have you on here, and that was amazing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. We still got 6 more episodes to go. Bye-bye.
My junk drawer, my junk drawer. So many things, I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.